Mike Bohn here in New York on the eve of UFC 268 with Anthony Smith, who is working as an analyst for ESPN for this event, but the very well-dressed Anthony Smith. I love the suit. What's the inspiration behind it?
You know, this suit was actually a gift from a business owner I met in Ohio, and I was in his office, and he brought in a tailor and said, I want to get you a couple suit jackets, so here's one of them.
Yeah, big outfit for a big event. Obviously, it's a huge one this week. Everything, 2 title fights, a lot of marquee matchups. Just tell me, like, when you mention this card, the first thing that comes to your mind that you're most excited for, what is it?
Kamaru Usman versus Colby Covington. I want to see who's gotten better in the time since they fought the first time. We've seen in 2 or 3 fights, we're watching Kamaru Usman continually get better and better and more dangerous. We haven't seen that from Colby, so I'm really curious to how much better he's gotten.
Yeah, I'm really curious as well, and we just don't know what to make of him. I mean, one thing that I think is one of the big questions is there going to be wrestling in this fight? Are these guys going to try to take each other down? Do you think we see more of that this time around, or do you think it's going to be another pretty much straight striking affair?
Listen, man, I think we need to see some attempts. I think in the first fight, I don't think they wanted to give that one to their opponent. If Colby shoots and Usman stuffs it, it's a big mental blow going into a fight for 2 high-level wrestlers. But in this fight, something has to change because it was very, very close, and neither one of those guys want the second fight to be as close as the first. So you got to do something a little different. At least giving the attempt will open up both guys striking, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm really curious because obviously Usman has this record, never been taken down, never even been controlled for 1 second. Like, who knows what he's like on his back? We know that wrestlers, typically don't like to fight off their back. So I feel like you have to try that. And the same can almost be said for Colby. I know he got tapped out by Warley Elvis with like a guillotine off a bad takedown attempt, but we've never seen him on his back really, what his like submission game, his get-up game is. I feel like both these guys need to try to test that.
I think they do. I think they need to set their egos aside and just say, I need to go out there, I need to chase a takedown. A failed takedown is not a failure. It gives your opponent something else to look for, and it opens up the rest of your game. If Kamaru Usman just moves into a fight with no threat of a takedown, he is a hard guy to deal with. If he can just throw freely, that's a hard guy to handle. If he's worried about you ducking under a shot or ducking under a hard punch or whatever, I think that opens up a lot for Colby. Colby's also a guy not typically known for finishing people with his hands or finishing at all in that matter. So he needs to give him something else to worry about, because if he's going to beat Kamaru Usman, it's going to have to likely be over 5 rounds. You gotta give him more to look at than just punches and kicks.
Yeah, what about the mental side? I mean, it was a pretty rowdy press conference, a lot said, but Kamaru pushed him during the face-off. Do you think that was just selling the fight, or do you think maybe there was a moment of like he went a little off character there and maybe showed a flaw of mental weakness or something?
No, I think he's selling pay-per-views. I think he's into this though. I think that he doesn't like Colby Covington. I think if he could do this once a month, I think he would.
Yeah, and he's talking about boxing Canelo and all these things. Like, do you think his focus is entirely here, or is this just the things you kind of do when you're so far at the top of the mountain that he's kind of looking for these other challenges?
Well, listen, I don't think he's so far at the top of the mountain, at least in his own mind. I think that he's chasing GSP's legacy. I really do. Maybe he won't say that out loud. The only thing between him and GSP is time. He just needs more guys coming up. I think that he's, Chael mentioned earlier, I think he's beating a better generation of guys. It's just time. So I think he needs to keep doing that. I think the Canelo talk is a lot of fun, especially with the kind of, the world we're living in right now, where there's crossover guys. You got boxers fighting MMA guys fighting boxers. I think it's just a fun conversation that he enjoys having.
Yeah, and as far as the co-main event, strawweight title, obviously, a rematch, instant rematch. If you're Zhang Weili, what's the most important thing you have to do here after getting knocked out so quickly? I don't think it's going to be that short of a fight. I think we maybe see something longer here, but is this, for her, putting herself in the fighter's mind, a difficult thing to overcome, fighting the person who just did that to you 5 months ago?
Listen, I think, first of all, she needs to be very thankful for getting this gift of a title shot, because I don't think there's anything in that fight that showed me she deserved it. And I'm not trying to put her down. That's not me being negative. I'm just being honest. She didn't have a long reign as champion. The fight wasn't competitive for even a second. So she needs to be happy that she's even in this position, and she needs to take advantage of that.